Thailand. Triple Thai here from Thailand. Hope you're doing well. 1 Jan here in Thailand. It's Monday. Yep, it's a cloudy day here in Thailand. It's getting a bit better. For instance, I can't see the sun. I was hoping to go to the beach today, but it appears that, for instance, because my partner's got a day off, so I was hoping to go there. But unfortunately, there's no sun. So I've got to. Yeah, it's weird that saying that in Thailand. So I've got to stay home. Okay, so it's 1 Jan. Pep's had his press conference. So I hope you're doing well, by the way. Welcome. Some interesting games last night, weren't there? Well, the usual crowd shuffled in, as they say, and to quote one of my favourite songs. And it's status quo really, with PSG beating Inter Miami and Bayern Munich beating Flamengo. So I saw the PSG game. I haven't seen the Bayern Munich game, but so I'm gonna look forward to that later. Anyway, so it's Pep's been chatting. And there's a bit to say about the squad. He was asked a few questions about Jurgen Klopp, etc., for instance, and the squad and how they're doing. And for instance, I think he got some good questions asked, for instance. He was asked about Cancelo and whether he was happy to see him, and he talked about a little bit about his temperament more than anything else. And I was happy to see him, Janko. He's very respectful as per usual, just like us. Kyle Walker. I was glad to see Kyle Walker last time. So I got the impression that, for instance, he wanted to play all the time. I think if I can remember correctly, Joel Cancelo, he was not very who plays now for Al-Hilal or whatever, our opponents. He said, for instance, he kicked off on the bench. He wasn't happy. He wasn't playing, and so we had to get rid of him because he wasn't happy. He was upsetting the squad because he was one of these entitled. I think when you talk about Pep, it always goes back to the fact that when you talk about Pep about he doesn't like upsetting players. He doesn't like seeing players upset, and sending people home because the squad's too big, etc., and they can't fit them in. This is one of the reasons. Because again, he had a great player like Joel Cancelo. Yes, he had his bozo moments. He was great going forward, can ping the ball across. He was a fantastic left back. But the problem with Joel, etc., he was temperamental, for instance, and if he didn't play, he would kick his toys out and pram, and so that's the reason why we had to say goodbye to him, and he was upsetting the team. So he went off to Barcelona. Now he's played in Saudi Arabia. I think I remember one of his passes to Raheem Sterling, etc. Oh, absolutely sublime. But again, you've got to accept the fact that there will be competitions when you're playing with a big team like Manchester City. There's not always the time that you will play, but you just have to accept it. My favourite ankle grinder. There you go. Ties with our ankle grinders. Love it. This tiny little thing about this big, and they're always using it. It's like, stop it. Anyway, so let's move on. So for instance, talk about the day-to-day of the players, and I think it leads on to the fact that, for instance, we're talking about player fatigue. We're talking about players' mentality, but Pep was talking about how great and happy he was to stay where he is, and the players have this option to to go out and they go to Miami, go out and do whatever they want to do. For instance, they have the freedom, they have the families with them, so it's not like always on and on and on. All you got to remember is that when they come to play football, training sessions, etc., they have to be on it. But other than that, they can just do what they want, which is good. It's great for the players' mentality. They've got the families with them as well, so that's good. He said, and he remembers that from World Cup squads and I remember England when they were in South Africa, and what a bad experience. I remember the people said they had nothing to do, and for instance, there was no place to go. And so the location, just like when you're buying a house, just like everything, is mega important. It's like me, where I am right now, location. Not in the most poshest of area, but I'm right now next to the beach, right around the corner, not too far away from Paria, not too far away from the markets, etc. For instance, ideal location, for instance, to stay. But it's so it's important, and it's good for the mental health as well as physical. So yeah, and having the families here as well. Pep Linders. He opened my eyes into many things in a short time. It's happened for many years from all the assistants and managers I've had. I drink from their knowledge, and I think, for instance, it's good that and I think this is what's important to Pep, is that, for instance, he can't do it by himself. He's not a man. He's the top of the tree. He's the top of our mountain. But the problem is he can't do everything, and he needs help sometimes. And but he's also learning from these guys. There's a question about how they're going to play the Liverpool style, and then he went off and said, he can't play. You know, he won't be a Jurgen Klopp. So I think he made a bit of a joke about that one. He talked about, for instance, the situation about, again, he was asked about I can't think they're going to be asked this until the very last press conference about the situation, and he said for managers, of course it's not an ideal situation. I love to have 2 months until the end start of the new season to refresh, but it is what it is. It's Pep's very saying. And deserves and we deserve for what we have done in the past. We deserve to be here. Once we're here, let's do our best. So I think, for instance, it's like there's too much. Again, I listened to talk crap yesterday, and they were talking about the troublesome Club World Cup, Klopp and his comments coming out. You just got to roll with it. You just got to say, well, we're here. We're a successful football club. Success brings more games, more challenges, more. So, for instance, you just got to deal with it. And I think, for instance, I'm enjoying the Club World Cup, and I'm enjoying the fact that Man City are there. I think I can see in the players, in their faces, in their eyes, as they smiles, happiness. I don't see any problems at all, and I just don't understand. And we're making money. I've seen a new, refreshed Manchester City. I do not have an issue with the Club World Cup in any way whatsoever. And if people have it, it's because they're not, as Pep Guardiola says in his press conference, it's because they're not there. You know, for instance, I think they're just jealous. Pep on the Club World Cup. He says again, once we're here, we're proud to be here, because many teams complain about the competition because they're not there. Otherwise, they would love it. Exactly, it's true, and their supporters would love it. I think there's a sense of bitchiness and with jealousness. The fact that Manchester City are making money and getting the spotlight and produce it. We're not only expanding our fan base across the world, so the club's enjoying it. They're making money. The players are enjoying it. So I just don't see what the moaning at. But you can't win with the media. You really can't. He was asked about Sancho. Yeah, Sancho can play both sides. He and for a Brazilian reporter, he said he can play both sides, left and right. He's fast, understands tactics. At the moment, he has. That's why he can play with us. He's really pleased with Sancho. He's an incredible player. Incredible season with Girona, the best player by far, and brought to the team alongside his teammates. Well, yeah, that's a high compliment. Pep Guardiola potential delay, storm delay. So I said I'm not. I said I can't control. Again, another crappy interest. It is what it is. Again, for instance, you live in a tropical climate, or for instance, you got to get thunderstorms. We get thunderstorms all the time. You just got to live what it is. It's just one of those things. You just got to accept it. So I was going to stop moaning about it. For instance, and again, these stupid comments about play. I know it's that about the Should they could have had more indoor stadiums? Maybe. Probably the one that City had, for instance, played in, and what was it, Atlanta? That would probably have been probably a better idea. Probably the stadiums, but again, this is America. You've got to roll with conditions that what you've been given with, and you can't just sit there and complain all the time. And I can't stand this moaning and groaning by. It's like people never lived abroad before or been abroad, never been. So, for instance, experienced hot and heat and temperatures. And and we were talking about yesterday about the heat and how it's affecting people, and again on Sports Breakfast on Talk Sport they were complaining. Oh well, when I was in it was the heat, and the thing is, I'm watching the players. I'm not seeing any performances. Manchester City scored most goals in the preliminary, in the rounds, see Jeremy Docker running down the wing at speed. I'm seeing Salvio. I'm seeing the players doing fast attacking football, and I don't see anybody flaking out in any way whatsoever. So you kind of adapt. I've adapted to the temperatures in Thailand. It's 30 degrees every day here, so you just adapt. It's cold for me today. It's cold. It's 28 degrees. It's cold. Like I'm wearing a t-shirt. Normally I wear a t-shirt for you guys, but a lot of times I wouldn't wear a t-shirt. But today I'm wearing a t-shirt because to me it's cold and it's 28 degrees. And if we went back to the UK or whatever, I'd be like, oh my god. And so you just learn to live with. You just adapt to the temperatures you're in, and keep hydrated. So for instance, a lot of happy faces, so it was a half decent press conference. He was talked about the Klopp and his comments. He was very, very respectful for Klopp, just like Arsene Wenger turned up. So I think, for instance, what he was saying was about the players, and about about what Klopp was saying about calling it the worst tournament ever, which I think is just a stupid thing. It's a new tournament. I think it's every 4 years. Again, they've had a massive issue whether it was every second year or whatever, or every year. But it's every 4 years, and I think it'll improve, but with time, just like it's just a new thing. I do worry about player fatigue. I do worry about being tired, and we'll see. But I just get the impression at the moment with the players, they don't seem to look very tired to me. So, for instance, and maybe they are towards the end of the season, but they're also in the 20s. And again, they're still young, and we have a big enough squad, and we keep enough players, and talk about the squad and the trimming of the squad. We did a bit of a calculation of players out of Manchester City, and and how much money we can actually recruit. We spent 175 million in January, but we only spent 15 million last summer, so we spent no money. So this is like, we spent 114 million pounds so far. With the players' recruitment. We've also got Turkey. We've made 54 million from the Club World Cup so far, so it's half that. If we sell McAtee, which is more likely will go to a German team, we're going to get 25 million for him. Dilat will get a sell-on clause for 6 million for him. Jacob Wright 2.5 million for him. James Trafford 3.5 million for him. Jan Kuto we get paid for him this season, and that's 25 million. Peroni will get 25 million for Peroni. Callum Doyle will probably get about 15 million for Callum Doyle. Then we've got Jack Walker, Kyle Walker, Jack Grealish, Calvin Phillips, and Kosovic or Ortega. Ortega will have to get a new goalkeeper anyway. But we could actually, in player sales alone, we could get about 150 million in player sales alone, and players, for instance, who got contracts in so Man City get a cut. We missed out on one guy, for instance. I believe he was an academy player, and he's gone to Chelsea for 50 million or something. But we missed out on that one. But again, but other than that, for instance, the players, and our PSR is absolutely fantastic anyway. Regardless, even though PSR is a dead thing, dead in the water. But we've saved a lot of money. Saved a considerable lot of money. So for instance, we're quids in as far as people. The Livramento and I think the dead in the water, the Livramento and the Rodrigo thing. Rodrigo definitely. Livramento, if we can get him. If we can't. He showed no interest. He's finished now with the Euro. whether he's not shown no interest in coming to City or whatever, or what we heard, unless things happen, even if Man City go in with a good bid, which we can, I wouldn't pay more than 70 million quid for him. I don't think Man City would anyway. So I think we should stick with what we've got. I think we'll probably end up sticking like that because again the right back market is quite dead at the moment. So it's who do we get? So just one further thing, etc. Before I go, I was just listening to Don Hutchison yesterday because I was enjoying the PSG into Miami game, oh my God, you know, this guy is so bitter towards my football club. It's just amazing. Apart from the fact that he was co-commentator in the PSG into Miami game, and some of his comments yesterday was so you know, a dig at Man City was yesterday. And for instance, apart from the fact was God, he kind of ruined the whole thing. I think some of his comments come out, etc. About how he applauded PSG and quoted them. They're the best team in the Club World Cup so far. Okay, even though Man City are favourites, even though Man City have won all their games, PSG didn't. Lost one, Man City didn't. Man City scored more goals than PSG, but you know, let's go with it. Let's, you know, and I'm sure he's right. We're talking about the fact that the way PSG play and the fast attacking football. And he said, there's no, I think we've only got Newcastle and Liverpool who play this way. Okay, not Manchester City. Not Man City in any way whatsoever, and how the fact that Man City play. Then he went on to the fact that PSG, how direct football really gets you to win games, other than that the 1,000 passes, side to side play. I wonder who was having a go at then, you know. And so yeah, and to him, PSG is going to win the entire thing. No worries, no you know, no whatever. Now, okay, he's got an opinion of PSG. Yeah, they're looking good yesterday. They were playing into Miami, and I went into Miami, regardless of what if they got Messi and blah blah blah. They are into Miami, so you know you've got to put it into context. PSG was very, unless they played the way they played Pogba. Inter Miami was very rarely going to win it. Very rarely. It's just it's like yeah. A second string squad to a, you know, it was just the difference was stark really. And for instance, so regardless, they got Messi can't do it by himself, and so it was no surprise that PSG won. And so I think, for instance, to sit there and call PSG out and out winners so far so early, you know, and a few people have. You could say they're the one of the favourites, but to discount out the other teams because they got Bayern Munich next, haven't they? So, I think it's just and just to sit there and say only quote Liverpool and Newcastle. Of course, his favourite Liverpool as their best teams anyway. So, but again, it's just. Oh, unbelievable, the media. They just drive me crazy. And this guy, Don Hutchison, he just knows nothing. He's so anti-Manchester City, it's unbelievable. He called Manchester City's, him and Matt Dobson and Stevie Nicol, Manchester City's transfer season of Agnori, Shirky and Reinders as underwhelming and sporadic. You're going to eat those words, boy. Seriously. Sorry, cat from Thailand. Speak to you tomorrow. Game day. Okay. And speak to you after the game. Yeah. Happy days. 8 p.m. for me. 8 a.m. for me. 2 a.m. for you. I believe the next couple of games are all at 8 p.m. English time. So I'm gonna have plenty of bags under my eyes. So anyway, regardless of that. Sorry, cat from Thailand.